Question number 3. How do you set up an advertising strategy to target a very niche audience?
So I think it's going to depend on who this niche audience is. It gets actually very easy if they're a niche audience that you can define. So once they can be defined by specific behaviors and things, maybe that's by a customer list that you have that's big enough and we can create a lookalike off of it. Or that's by the actual behaviors that we can find that we can match to the social channels or to Google's audience targeting that they have. Then that's essentially what we're doing. We're trying to go after them. If there aren't audiences available, then what we're trying to do is essentially build that audience and figure out, first of all, what are the closest audiences to them. So people who do this also do that and try to build that audience. But even within them, that's not going to get you fully there. Then this really becomes more of a data play than an audience play. So that means getting in as many good data signals so that we can teach the system, whether it's Google or Meta or any of the advertising platforms, what is the right, who the right audience is going to come down to tagging them as this person came to my site and they were good. Now, if you have enough data, then great. It's like, okay, let's say it's purchases or lead forms, whatever it is, you're getting enough volume in. Awesome. And then the system will usually pick up on who that niche is and get better at it. If you don't have enough data, then you kind of have to either figure out a way to get enough data. There's multiple ways of doing that. There's the easier ways, or not, I wouldn't say easier, simpler ways, like increase your budget. Now, it might not be profitable, but at least you're doing that. You're essentially investing now so that later you get returns, even if you're not going to get those out on those now, just by like putting through a larger budget so that you can, essentially teach it. It's a teaching budget. It's not a return budget, and then go from there. Or there's things you can do with like, okay, what is the lowest funnel micro conversion that aligns nicely to the right audience and says, okay, this is a member of the right audience. And then you start optimizing for those. Now, again, that's not super profitable because these platforms tend to get really good at optimizing for that person. But over time, you can kind of switch that and at least just create that audience first. Or you can have people just purposely do the conversion action, whatever it is, if you actually know who they are. So you already have an audience of them. You already have defined a community and you have relationships within it. So you can kind of like spring that by doing a bunch of them first and then letting the system see, okay, what's similar about these people? Because that's essentially what these systems are doing in the background. They're saying what's similar about them. And now let me go out and target more people who match that same profile. So once the platform has a good idea of who that is, then you're good. Right. As long as the conversion data that comes through continues to validate that.
Very interesting. I wonder if there's also a way with creative and copy where you get very narrow with the creative and the copy, and then you push it broad and maybe do like a landing page views campaign or something like that where you're generating traffic to the site, but it's really ugly ad. Those sometimes work really well where it's really ugly and it's like the only person that would actually click on that is someone interested.
I love that. Yeah, that sounds like another option where you're essentially letting the creative do the targeting for you.
Yeah. And ugly ads.
Love ugly ads.
Sometimes they really work. It's annoying though.
I think it really is annoying. But it's also like validating in a weird way.
Why?
Because I don't know how to make good ads, but also because it kind of just like reminds you that the aesthetic of the ad is important, but the message is what's more important.
It's true.
And to someone who doesn't know how to create pretty ads on my own, it's validating.
You're the one behind. Our graphic designer went on vacation. Those ads were like drawn by stick figures.
I didn't see those. That sounds amazing.
Those make me happy.
I love that.